Millions of dollars, top-tier global consultants, a total factory overhaul. Production is skyrocketing. But what happens the exact second the babysitter leaves? Does human behavior actually change for good, or do people just quietly regress to their old chaotic ways? Well, let's dive right into this explainer. We are going to absolutely demolish a massive assumption in the business world today. Most people think it's perfectly binary. A fixed business either stays perfectly fixed forever, or it instantly collapses into a burning pile of trash. But the hardcore data, it tells a totally different, much wilder story. Here is your first face-slapping fact. 40%, that's right, 8 years after the consultants packed up and went home, a massive 40% of those highly engineered management habits were completely trashed by employees. Just gone, deleted. Now that sounds like an absolute disaster, doesn't it? It sounds like literal proof that expensive consulting is a complete scam. But hold on. To understand what's really going on, we have to destroy two major corporate myths. First up, the Toyota myth. That's the romantic, kind of naive idea that workers will just naturally love a good system and continuously improve it forever. Yeah, false. Humans are messy. Then there's the consultant myth, the cynical belief that absolutely everything reverts to total chaos after exactly 3 years. Well, the data shows that is brutally false too. Section 1. The 8-year hardcore test. So researchers from Stanford and the World Bank didn't just hand out some flimsy survey. No, they built a mammoth field experiment. We're talking 17 massive, multi-million-dollar Indian textile factories. Elite consultants came in and physically forced these plants to adopt 38 specific management habits, things like tracking defects. And then they left. 8 years later, researchers walked back into those factories to see exactly what survived human entropy. The immediate decay is honestly staggering. At the peak of the intervention in 2011, the management quality score hit a solid 0.60. But jump ahead 8 years to 2017, that score bled out to 0.46. The system was basically rotting. They reversed nearly half of their hard-earned gains. Basically, human nature fought back. Section 2. Why good systems rot. So why do we do this? Why do humans violently refuse to keep doing what is actually good for them? Well, the researchers tracked every single dead habit. And the number one serial killer of established systems? A new boss walking through the front door. When a new manager took over, almost 10% of good habits instantly evaporated. Why? Simple. They didn't invent the system, so they just didn't care about it. But not all habits die equally. It is literally survival of the fittest on the factory floor. The dead habits, those were anything that required tedious daily management attention. Annoying daily meetings? Dead. Complex visual charts? Dead. But the sticky habits that survived were just basic common sense survival. Logging defects, keeping machines from breaking down. If it was annoying, humans killed it. If it kept the lights on, it stuck around. Section 3. Unexpected free riding. Okay, here is a massive plot twist. These textile firms actually owned multiple factories, but they only sent the expensive consultants to one treated plant. The sister factories? Completely ignored, left to fend for themselves. Yet, by 2017, they had completely caught up. While the treated factories decayed down to a 0.46, the ignored sister plants secretly copy-pasted the surviving habits for free, rising up to a 0.47. So the rot in the main factory was essentially offset by the brilliant secret theft of the neighbors. Section 4. The slap to common sense. Okay, so practices decayed, lazy new managers ruined things. By all common sense, this entire multi-million-dollar intervention was a huge failure, right? Wrong. Prepare for the ultimate data drop. 35%. Because despite the rot, despite the laziness and the decay, 8 years later, those treated firms still achieved a massive 35% higher worker productivity than the control group that got no help at all. That is a staggering, permanent advantage. When you map out the change in practices against where these factories actually started out, it reveals a profound truth. It completely destroys the excuse that, our company is just too messy to fix. The data proves that it absolutely does not matter how terrible your baseline is. If you forcefully intervene, you will grow. Period. Yes, the reality is messy, and yes, some of those shiny new habits are going to rot away, but that core foundation, it will fundamentally elevate your business forever. Let's lock in the final takeaway here, that conventional wisdoms and management fixes completely die out in 3 years, decisively rejected.
Look, fighting human entropy is exhausting. You are absolutely going to lose some battles. People naturally default to laziness. But the compounding long-term benefits absolutely crush the alternative of doing nothing. You are essentially buying a permanent productivity boost.
So, I want to leave you with a deeply uncomfortable question. Think about your own workplace tomorrow. Are you actively fighting entropy and building a system, or are you just comfortably watching an old system brought away? Because human nature defaults to decay. It is up to you to force the growth. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.